Hello and welcome to Flashback Generations episode 8. This one is all about Gideon. Of course, this is the continuation of our Imperial assault skirmish mode with a slight bit of the campaign thrown in for good measure. Today is Gideon, who is a rebel card, and let's get stuck into him, Pete. Alright, Pete's going to go through the stats.
Yeah, so there's only one card for this guy. He's a unique character. It's a grey card. He's quite at first glance, he's a small guy stat-wise. So he's 3 points, and he's got the leader keyword. That's his fluff. He's a leader. He's an old guy with a beard and stuff. He's got 5 health, which is very small, considering he's a character. He's got speed 4, which is bog standard. 1 black defense dice, which is bog standard. Blue-green attack, shooting attack, pretty much bog standard. That's like a stormtrooper. Yeah. So what does he bring? Well, he's got 2 surge abilities: surge focus, and surge plus 2 damage. His special actions are: for 1 special action, you can do tactical maneuver. Choose another friendly figure in your line of sight. That figure gains 2 movement points. So, and then the other special action is: on my mark, choose another friendly figure in your line of sight. That figure becomes focused. So
the power of this guy is in the line of sight with focus and movement. He can change games. He makes any character be able to do pretty much anything. On his own, he's actually...
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of like a super boosted Imperial officer in some ways, but he can do it with line of sight rather than within 3 spaces or whatever it is on the Imp officer. And he's about the same cost, really, isn't he? He's 1 point more, and he's a lot better. But you can only obviously have one of this guy. His surge focus. His surge focus could be handy if he throws. I mean, he's much better giving the focus to other people.
He doesn't tend to attack too much, so him actually getting these focuses or tokens for himself is a rarity in a way.
Yeah.
You know, he tends to either be assisting other people or dying.
Yeah.
But
that's it. That's what everything he does. Yeah.
An interesting part about him is he's got a black die as well.
Yeah.
Because most of the rebel characters are white. If you look through the rebels, they're all white because they're a lot more kind of
heroic, really. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not as
they should dodge out of danger every now and then, but
they're not as tanky, you know. But this guy's got a black die, so this kind of implies that this guy's had some sort of military training in the past.
Yeah, but he dies so often. In my experience, you know, I mean, it depends how you play it. You've got to play this guy somewhere near the back or furthest away from the enemy or round a corner.
He's got a plus 2 damage as well.
Yeah,
surge,
nice if you ever bother shooting with him.
Very nice. So this guy can actually do damage. He is like a better version of a stormtrooper in a way.
Yeah, mixed with a super Imperial officer. He's super cheap for what he can do.
That leader keyword is pretty pivotal.
Yeah.
What I find that he is one of the best things to do is he's one of the best cards to have for any scenario, any situation. He's the best guy sitting at the back and giving someone a focus and giving the movement as well. So he can put people in positions like before you need to move, and that focus is just so good long term.
Yeah.
And then, you know, next turn he can do it again. Whoever he sees, he can just put them in a new position and then move someone else. And if he does actually get attacked, whoever's attacking him has to be aware that they have to get more than 5 health down. So he does die quick, to be fair. He's not much of a threat, but he's such a good support unit.
Yeah, you should do your absolute best to keep this guy effective whilst keeping him out of the line of fire, because with a black dice, you know, a decent attack will finish him off, really, or scare the player who's using him out of the wit so that they retreat him back so far that he's no use for a couple of turns. You know?
Yeah. So
I mean, at the end of the day, if he does die, you're only losing 3 points, but you're opening up to a celebrate, aren't you?
3 points is evil actually with him. I find that he feels like he's under cost for what he can do, but at the same time, he doesn't do very much himself. He just buffs the army. Yeah. Let's talk about what he can do good. Who's he good for and who's he bad for? Which lists?
He's good for any character heavy list, really.
Character heavy, I agree, because he makes all of them buffed.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's not so bad with the infantry heavy as well.
Yeah.
Because adding in a green die to them is very
a green die is a green die, whoever's using it, but it's just it tends to be more effective, doesn't it, on the characters, but it's good for anyone. you know, if he's throwing focuses and green dies onto Luke Skywalker, that's obviously way better than throwing it onto a Rebel Saboteur or whoever. But even so, either case is good help.
Depends if you're playing a swarm list, then the Saboteur could do with that more than Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, probably so.
The Saboteur wants to get a surge off.
Yeah.
So you're more likely to do that with the extra focus. So
I mean, he is also, and he's an activation. A very cheap activation.
Another activation,
so
absolutely.
If you want to waste time, you can just activate this guy. You can shovel somebody 2 spaces and give them a focus, and then there you go. It's the other guy's turn again.
A pretty common theme you see nowadays, and this is after Wave Hoth, whatever that is you see C-3PO in there.
Yeah.
So C-3PO and Gideon. They're your first 2 activations. C-3PO says, "Hey everyone, you can all have a focus," and Gideon says, "Hey, someone can have." Or sorry, they both say you can have a focus.
Yeah.
Turn 1 starts. You've got 2 focuses on the board before you've even moved.
Yeah.
Which is extremely powerful. And C-3PO is the 2-point card, which we will cover soon.
Yeah.
But this guy, anyone who's used him knows he's worth his salt.
Yeah. As long as you don't lose him.
Yeah.
Cheaply, because then you're probably giving away 5 points if the other guy's got to celebrate, which you should probably have most of the time at the moment. But yeah, keep him out of harm's way. Not too far out of harm's way, or he won't be able to use his line of sight awesomeness. That's the balance with this guy, isn't it?
I have to say, thinking of him in a bad list is actually quite difficult.
Yeah.
He works with every list pretty well.
And he's so cheap, it doesn't really matter.
No, exactly.
He's still going to do something for somebody,
Perhaps the worst thing about him, the worst thing he could bring to the table is if you're trying to make a list that's geared towards all brawler, for instance, the leader keyword suddenly becomes a bit heavy to use on him, because if you start putting in leader cards, then the other guys can't use it. So you have to be a little bit careful. But people like Leia have leader as well, so he can really benefit from having another style of leader. Does Han have leader as well?
No, not at all.
Smuggler
and Scoundrel or something. I don't know. Just Smuggler mainly. I think the leaders are Leia and I can't remember, but yeah. So he does bring a much needed leader keyword.
Yeah, but it's very necessary. Anyway, let's jump onto the skirmish upgrades. We'll start with a card called Reposition.
So these cards are tend to be leader centric, but we've chosen to look at here because Gideon's a leader, isn't he? So
yeah, they're not necessarily cards
leader only, but they're meant for leader.
They're for the leader keyword as opposed to these will suit Gideon as such. So the first one we'll look at is the card called Reposition. It's a leader keyword only, so it costs 1 point and you can have 1 in your deck. For an action, choose a small friendly figure within 3 spaces. Push that figure up to 3 spaces. So what this does for Gideon is it's actually double. You can use his push someone within your line of sight 2 squares, and you could use this as well. So you could actually push someone 5 squares on turn 1 if you wanted to. I don't think it's actually
the long-winded way of getting an extra move, isn't it?
It's not a great card for any leaders that actually have a move push in them as a standard ability. I would actually, if you've only got Gideon, I wouldn't take this card. It's expensive, and it does at 1 point it's expensive, and Gideon's got the push 2 and a line of sight, so Gideon's nearly 1 up on this because he can do it from a range. But at the same time, if you don't have that, so if you've got a different style of leader, so it's not an Imperial Guard commander or whatever, so if it's Leia or whatever, this can be quite a handy one. You want this on a pretty cheap leader though, because giving away an activation is quite a,
yeah, you don't want to do that with Leia, really, do you?
Doing one of your actions is that you don't want to waste it on making someone move a little bit. It sort of seems pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But again, on Gideon, it's quite good because he's a 3-point card, so he doesn't bring that much to the fight, but you need the support. He can do that. So Reposition, good card, but needs to be for the right.
It boosts
list.
his ability. You can use the card with him to push somebody 3, and then look at them with your line of sight and push them another 2. Useful for objective grabs or stuff like that. Getting through a door before it closes or things like that.
Yeah, or late
1
game.
point though, not sure.
1 point, that is the crux about it.
Yeah.
To be a leader keyword as well. If this is any card doing it, it just feels like there's a few hurdles with it before you really decide if this is a good card or not. Okay, so we're unsure about Reposition. Let's go on to the next card. We've got Emergency Aid. This is for any figure. This isn't just a leader card, but when I read the text, it'll make more sense. It's 2 points, and you can have one in your deck. So for an action, choose an adjacent figure. That figure recovers 2 damage. If you are guardian or leader, that figure recovers an additional 1, so they recover 3.
3 health and
3 health, basically.
yeah. Gideon uses its 3 health. You've got to be adjacent to them.
Adjacent.
And it's 2 points, and you can have 1 in your deck. Emergency aid, right? 3 health.
How much is the other card? The one that any figure you can recover?
Recover.
2
I think it's 2. I don't know.
Is it 2 points or 1 point? I'm gonna say this card isn't as good as that.
Yeah, value wise, yeah.
Actually, it must be 1 point because it's it must be 1 point for the recover 2. But that is better value because you don't require someone else to go over and do it.
Yeah, you can do it to yourself.
So
The recovery or whatever it's called. Yeah. This seems a little bit odd, a little bit flaky for 2 points.
At the same time,
2 points out of your 15 for your deck, and you get 3 health back.
but at the same time, it's going with any figure, so you can actually just go over with someone who you don't really care about. You've got your hired guns.
Yeah.
Them doing it to someone, it doesn't matter. It's 3 life versus 2 life. If you're going to get 2 life back from the hired guns doing that, and they're giving it back to Boba Fett or someone who really needs it.
Yeah.
Then
So it
it's
seems-
not so bad because it's not Boba Fett's activation.
Yeah,
used.
I think I'm snowtrooper biased. The snowtroopers walk around giving 1 health to everybody adjacent for 1 action. So
Pete, this isn't the snowtrooper.
I know, but I'm when you talk about recovery actions, I'm all about the snowtroopers, and this is like, oh, you can have 3, but it's going to cost you somebody's action. You've got to be adjacent.
2 points.
You
2 points.
need to be a guardian or a leader to get the most out of it, and it's 2 points out of your deck as well. Like, it's a long list of question marks for me.
If this was 1 point, do you think it would be better?
Yeah, it'd be reasonably good then. I think reasonably good. If it was 1 point, you could have 2 in your deck. It'd be awesome because you're giving somebody 6 health back then. But that's not what it is it? So. Don't know. I mean, if you're really stuck, if you were building your deck and you were really stuck for a last card and you had 2 points left over,
You might.
and you've got 2 leaders or a leader and a guardian
Yeah.
and 2 guardians in your list, I'd consider it. Other than that, I'd be like, maybe not.
I'll say this now. This card is really good with the grey Imperial officer
Yeah.
because he doesn't shoot very much. He doesn't do very much. He orders for people around and does whatever. But for him, if you got that Imperial officer, him giving Darth Vader, for instance, back 3 life, that's huge.
Yeah.
Or, if you've got your tanks or ATSTs, whatever, you've got some big vehicles that have a lot of life that you need to recover quite a lot.
Yeah.
That's a great card for the Imperial officers. But again, it's very centric on you need to have all these
Seems
guys
too
adjacent to each other.
defensive almost,
Oh, I don't think it's a bad card, but I think it could be. I think there should be a bigger benefit for the leader.
Yeah, it should be an extra 2. That's what it should be. It should be 2 health, and if you're a guardian or leader, an extra 2.
An additional 2, so 4.
Then
life
it's suddenly the hero's best friend, isn't it?
If that was 2 and 2, so if that was 4 life back, I think that card would be brilliant.
Anybody taking Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, any of those guys, or Darth Vader, or any big characters would need to have a tiny leader with this card lurking around.
You'd still, but
4 health. That's what a third of a.
It's half of Luke. Oh well, most of Luke. He's
Yeah,
10.
yeah.
But the thing about it is you still need to have the leader next to you. There's a lot of
Yeah. There's still the adjacent.
so
issue,
and Gideon's hardly invincible, so
yeah.
it can just not work as well, really. Anyway, and the last card we're going to go on. This is our first time doing it. A character card. We're going to do Take It Down. This is Gideon Argos only card. Only Gideon can use this card. It's 3 points, and you can only have 1 in your deck. So for an action, choose an adjacent friendly figure. That figure performs an attack. Apply +2 damage to the attack result. What do you think of that?
I think it's rubbish.
Really?
Yeah. It's 3 points and you get 2 +2 damage. Have I missed something? Choose an
For
adjacent.
a friendly figure.
Yeah, choose an adjacent friendly figure. So that's anybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. That figure performs an attack. Okay. Yeah.
What did you think it was?
Yeah. No, I didn't fully realise the implications. So yeah, this is to get a hero to shoot again.
Yeah.
3 points. Yeah, it probably is worth it actually, isn't it? Yeah.
This has a hero killer written all over it, and because there's only 1 action, it means that Gideon can run over to someone You know, this Chewbacca with this
Yeah, yeah.
just turns into a tank. You know, so this is going to kill anything really, and this is literally a one-shot gun. I do agree with you. I think the 3 points is a pretty hefty.
Yeah, but the potential is massive, so yeah, it should be.
It's a pretty hefty price to pay, but you know, for 3 points, you see a lot of the heavy weapons ones that you can do an
To be
additional
fair,
4 damage.
Yeah, the
things like
the
that.
value of this card is also in the fact that Gideon is cost 3 points himself, which is nothing, well, very low, and suddenly this card is giving you an extra Luke swipe or Chewie shoes or whatever.
Essentially, he's got Leia's built-in ability, but better.
Yes.
And people cannot prepare for this or
And
expect it.
what are the chains around the Rebel heroes that you could trigger with this? So if you use this on Leia, no, she can't chain her ability, can she? With
No, it'll make her attack.
It's just a one-shot thing. Yeah.
Make her attack, and Leia's attack is
Fair to middling, yeah, but
Yeah, it's
okay, yeah. So you'd be using it on the big guns.
I think if you need to take down someone heavy, this is when you use it. You use this against your Royal Guard champ or
Yeah, definitely.
those annoying people like that, and the annoying people that actually decide to bring them
Yeah, not me. I'm
to
innocent.
events.
I only bring stormtroopers.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think of the miniature for Gideon? It's
Do you know I can't remember it, so I've not seen it before.
he's got his arms outstretched and his cloak his coat is flowing.
I've painted him. It's been a few months ago now, but yeah, he's a good one.
I think he's all right. He's holding something in his hand. He's holding a gun in one hand and I don't know what's in the other. Is he pointing or
A checklist, yeah, nagging
got
list or something, yeah.
To me, this model has always been a bit weird. I remember the first time I opened Imperial Assault, and this model was the one I was always a bit like, I don't understand why. I don't understand why. Is there an old man in the list?
Yeah, he's the old wise leader. I mean, he's portrayed as a black guy on here. Sorry, a person of colour, which is and he's got a snow white beard, which is fine. But yeah, so that was a trick for me because I've never painted a person of colour before. So it was like his coat's, he's all right. He's a good figure. He's a nice little miniature. He does look wise and beardy.
He's got his mouth open and things. I think it's okay. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. It didn't inspire me and it confused me when I saw it first.
Yeah.
I guess I wanted a Snake Plissken kind of looking. I wanted to see a war grizzled guy.
Yeah.
This guy just looks like someone's granddad.
Yeah, unpainted. It is basically Uncle Albert out of Only Fools and Horses. That's what you think of because he's a bald little old guy with a beard. That's what you're thinking. So I was like, but yeah, he's okay. It's a faithful representation of the picture. I don't know where the character comes from. I presume he's unique to Imperial Assault's fluff.
I've got one last question for you, Pete.
Yeah.
And I've been racking my brains trying to think of this. Why is Gideon on a grey card even though he's unique?
I've no idea. I was thinking that at the beginning of this.
There's loads because if you look at Luke and Chewie and Han, they're all red cards. But there's various cards that are just coming out that have grey backgrounds and
it must be something to do with the campaign, but my memory fails me as to what the significance is between unique grey versus unique red in the campaign. So you'd get this guy as an ally, you'd win him as an ally. No, you wouldn't at all because he's one of the player characters.
He's one of the characters.
Yeah. So I've no idea.
If you
that's it. Unless because what's Diala? Is she grey or red?
Grey.
They are grey, are they?
Yeah.
Right. It's because it must be something to do with the fact that they're actually player characters in the campaign. So whereas Han, Chewie, Luke are all red because they can be won as allies, can't they?
You could be right.
I don't know. It's something in that direction, but what it is, I don't know.
If you guys know the answer, please write below and tell us because we need to know. Anyway, we'll see you next time for the next episode.
Cheerio.
Cheers, guys. Bye.